All right, everybody, welcome back to Eli Richards Beer Reviews after, 10 years? 10 years. We're doing it's been a long time. We're doing Coors Banquet today and some
really
other
been 10
beers
years?
too. It's been that, yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Because what was this, 2023, so 2013, yeah, because
Something like that.
I had just started
I guess
dating
so, yeah.
Stephanie, so 2013, yeah, it's been 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to be doing Coors Banquet and some other beers. I've got some editing technology, so I'll be editing these videos together. But what do you think about Coors Banquet, man?
Okay, well, I'll tell you this. Man, I like Coors like a long time ago. We was actually talking about this a little bit before because Coors was basically my go-to. I remember the commercials of the mountains being blue. Blue's my favorite color as well. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but, you know, I'm sure y'all know how it is after you put in a good day of work or so, come home, sometimes you want to have a beer. Now,
Throw your girl on the bed, give her a good pound. And I was playing.
That's not where I was going with it. Where I was going with it is, even though I typically don't drink, as you all know.
I typically do, as they will know.
That's funny. But still, it's every now and then to be able to kind of open up a beer. I end up getting some today. It's kind of nice. And with that being said, it's nice to kind of go back to something that you know, something that you're familiar with. And since I kind of grew up with it, I don't know if it's kind of bringing back some good times or what it is, but it's just, for me, it's just nice to have it. It's nice to...
It's nostalgic.
Sure. Outside of that, there's definitely some beers that I think is more flavorful, in my opinion, I will say. But for the price, just getting a regular beer compared to maybe some other ones out there, it's there's nothing wrong with it. So I say taste overall for what it is. How much was the case?
We got a 12-pack for about... It was about $15.
Okay, so we got a 12-pack for, we're saying about $15.
Yeah, I think it was with tax and everything.
Okay.
Pretty good deal when you're talking about a 12-pack.
True,
I
which
guess.
y'all see later, but I got some more beer. We ended up getting some more beer, and it was $40 for 8 of them. So, if we're looking at prices, then obviously this costs less.
I would have to say that the beers we'll be reviewing later, they cost way more, but they're also imported, and I would argue that they're way higher quality as well, wouldn't you say?
I really like this. I'm going to be honest with you guys. If we're comparing this thing to the ones that I really like the Dragon's Milk, which we got today.
It comes from Belgium or somewhere like that?
That's a good question.
Some European country. I believe it's Belgium, but I could be wrong. Maybe Norway, somewhere like that.
Yeah, but I'm going to be real with y'all. In my opinion, beers as a whole, like, your standard beers, your light beers, whether it be Coors, whether it be Miller Lite, whether it be Bud Light, whatever it may be, I don't really have I don't care for that kind of taste of beer overall, but I do like cracking one open and enjoy myself from time to time. What I actually enjoy when we get to it is when we get the Dragon's Milk and things like, that beer I like, that beer I enjoy. So I guess to be honest with you guys during this beer review, I like Coors because I just like it, the nostalgia that you was talking about. I kind of grew up with it. It is what it is, to be honest with you, but it's because I just want to grab a little drink and chill, man. And that's the brand that I like, so I do it with that brand. But if I had to choose a beer, to be real with you, it'd probably be one of the more expensive ones, but well, I'm not trying to throw any shade. I like this beer.
Yeah,
I'm not saying I don't like it.
It's the old adage, you get what you pay for.
Sure.
If you go out and pay a crazy amount of money for 4 beers, they better be some damn good beers. You know what I'm saying? But if you pay a reasonable price for a 12-pack, you kind of know what you're getting.
That one 4-pack was $20 plus taxes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That one 4-pack.
That's what I'm saying. If you're paying that much money for a 4-pack,
we could have got a 12-pack and saved $6.
Yeah, but that's what I was saying though. If you pay that much money for a 4-pack, they better be damn good beers.
Yeah, they better be.
But for a reasonable price 12-pack, you kind of know what you're getting.
Sure. I agree with you putting it like that. For what this costs and for what it is and the audience, I guess, that it probably reaches, I like it. It's my go-to. I like Coors, and the very first beer I ever had was Miller Lite, and that might
Really?
be why I like. Yeah, that
I
was
didn't know that.
well, it wasn't the first beer, but it was the first beer I had. It was the first beer I had inside of a restaurant, right?
Oh, okay.
So because of that, I think maybe that's why I gravitate towards it. Y'all know how it is. Like at the end of the day, if you like, some people like cheeseburgers, some people like pizza. If you ask somebody why they like pizza, it's really hard to break it down. You like it. Maybe it's because you had it when you was a kid. Maybe it was because of an experience. Maybe because you was at a birthday party. Maybe because one day you was sad and you ate it and it was great. Maybe one day you was happy and you ate it and it was even better.
Maybe you was kidnapped by some cheap hookers and they made you drink it to have sex with them constantly. Oh, sorry, no, that's a personal story. My bad. Anyway.
So the reason of me liking the Coors Light at the end of the day, guys, I can't tell you why. I know that I've liked it for a long time. I know that blue's my favorite color. Whether that has something to do with it or not, I don't know. And I know this isn't blue, but they used to be a silver can, and they used to have mountains, and it used to say something like, "When the mountains are blue, I don't know, it's ready to drink," or something like that, right? Yeah, I mean, it's one of my favorite beers in its price range.
Yeah, and I think, like I said, that's the old American adage. You get
I
what
like Dunkel.
I do too.
Yeah.
Actually, that's pretty good beer.
Does that cost a little bit more than this? Maybe I think a little bit.
I believe so. It's been a while since I've drank it.
It's a local
I
brewery.
think
that we
so,
have here.
though. I believe so. You're talking about Yeehaw's Brewery.
Yeah, Yeehaw. They make
Yeah,
one called Dunkel.
For those of you out there in the country that, or you might be watching in another country, that don't know what we're talking about, Yeehaw Brewery is a local brewery here in Tennessee, where we live. So, but they make a beer called Dunkel, and it's like almost, how would you describe it? Like a coffee kind of beer? Not really coffee.
It's dark
but
enough to look like it.
It's almost like chocolate, kind of.
That's what it looks like. It's a stout, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Very dark. It's been a while since I've had it, to be honest with you, so I can't really say. But yeah, I do like those.
I do too.
Yeah, that's a good one. And local brewery. I like local,
Yeah.
helping out our local businesses for sure.
Yeah, but that's a local brewery around here. For those of you that have no clue what Yeehaw Brewing is, it's pretty local. But
What's your thoughts about the beer? My overall thoughts, if I had to summarize it, is within the price range that it is. This is one of my favorite beers. Definitely wanted it more than the other stuff you was gonna get.
what other stuff?
The Bud Light. So
I don't buy no Bud Light.
Or I'm sorry, Bud Ice. Bud Ice.
Oh, I like Bud Ice. Bud Ice is my favorite beer.
Yes. So
I was gonna say Bud Light. When have you ever seen me drink a Bud Light?
sure, I've never seen that. But I do personally like Coors more than things such as the Budweiser or, I used to have natural ice for a while, but to be honest with you, I never really cared for natural ice. It was because I was younger and it had more alcohol in it.
I don't like natural ice either because, natural ice is the only beer that actually gives me a headache.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I don't like it as much as I do Bud Ice.
Okay.
Bud Ice never gives me a hangover. I don't know why that is.
I think they're from the same company.
I know. I don't know. I don't know why.
Well, yeah, I used to, natural ice used to be it was actually, I think one was called Natty Daddy. How weird that
I remember
sounds.
Natty Daddies.
Yeah.
They still make them, don't they?
I don't know.
I think they do.
I don't know. But I used to get Natty Daddies, and there was the highest, at the time, things could have changed, but there was the highest percentage that you was going to find out of almost any.
I remember Natty Daddies, yeah.
Especially for the price.
I'm pretty sure they still make them, but I remember you drinking those.
Yeah, there was, I like those because I was young, I wanted something cheap, and I just wanted to get drunk,
And that's the name of the game when you're drunk. You're not thinking about the taste of beer, you just want to get drunk.
Yeah, that's basically what it was. Now, this is probably for another video, but what I actually like, if I had a choice, would be pure alcohol. Well, whenever I say pure, obviously not 100%
Right,
alcohol.
like liquor or something like that.
Yeah, like, more of, I remember one of the very first ones I've had was a Sky Vodka. It was
I've seen them, I've never tried.
I want to say it was blueberry. I remember blue.
That sounds
pretty
good.
sure. Yeah.
It also sounds like it'd be nasty coming back up.
I know. But that was one of the first vodkas that I got. And I got that too. I went into I told you this story, but I'll tell y'all. So there's this Hispanic guy that I used to work with. Anyways, somehow we ended up going to the alcohol store, and I was and I only spoke like a very, very little bit of Spanish, right? But I was trying to help him just get some alcohol or whatever it may be, right? Long story short, I noticed that the person behind the counter didn't ID the dude I was with, this Hispanic guy, right?
Because he was a cartel member. Richard
Probably
does
not.
sneak in from time to time cartel members. No, I'm just playing. Yeah, go ahead.
So with the, basically with how the story goes is, I was like, they didn't ID him. I wonder if they'll ID me. I went back on another day, just myself. By golly, well, maybe him and I went back twice. And then after that, I tried to go back. And by golly, yeah, they did ID me, and I was able to go ahead and buy drinks. Yeah. So I was buying alcohol for a long, long time. Maybe that has something to do with me liking the alcohol more than the beer, because I've never been a beer person. Really.
Why do you think they didn't ID him?
I don't know. But now I bet they would more often. But times were different too when we were growing up compared to when the kids now are growing up.
True.
Because before, you could get away with a lot of things that you can't get away now.
True.
So the times.
I will say that, which I won't throw any names out there. I don't want to get anybody in any federal trouble. But the place I go to buy my beer, they never ID me.
Yeah, that Bobby Allen guy. Yeah, that lives on Lone Street, 4398.
But really, I mean, you've been with me. Did she ID me today?
I wasn't paying attention.
She did. Did she ask for your ID?
No, not mine.
Okay, so I never get ID'd. And like I said, I won't mention that name of the store because that's against federal law. But, I mean, it's just part of being a regular at a store. So that makes me wonder if he was a regular and they kind of knew he was of age, or they just didn't care, maybe. I don't know. I mean, keep in mind, a lot of those kids are underage behind the counter. They don't care if you're of age.
True. I don't know how the rules are now, but I used to work at Priceless, right? This is some years ago. And there, when it comes to selling the alcohol, if I remember correctly, we can always do a little research and find out. But if they looked under a certain age, but it was something crazy like, see, now I don't know if I'm 100% right. We'll have to check this out.
I never even knew you worked at Priceless.
Yeah, this is when I was with Emily.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I was working where I was at now, plus Priceless. I had like 3 jobs I was trying to do.
Right.
There's been a few times in my life like that. But anyways, going back to the story.
Young guys out there, if you got a girlfriend that you're constantly taking care of and she's not giving you anything back in return, no disrespect to Emily, but dump her ass because there's better women out there. Anyway, go ahead.
Which, of course, I'm not trying to put anody on blast. Not saying
no, and I wasn't trying to be disrespectful to Emily randomly if she comes across this video. By
That'd be something. But where I was getting at is, and I could be wrong, I thought I remember something such as if they looked above 40 or 45 or something like that, you didn't have to ID them or some kind of reason to believe or something. If that's the case, and I could be wrong with that, we'll have to double check. But if that's the case, then maybe since you are a regular and because they know for a shadow of a doubt that it's you, maybe that's a different circumstance. Maybe at the time at the bank, what we used to do, to give you an example, is if somebody comes in, then you would think that we'd have to look at your ID and stuff for us to pull up your account, give you information or whatever, right? Well, if of a shadow of a doubt you know who that individual is, then there's circumstances that we don't need that ID.
That makes sense. I mean, if you're dealing with a regular that's, let's say you're selling, I don't know, beer and cigarettes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, let's say you own a store like that and you're making good money.
Seen them 100 times.
Yeah, if you've got somebody that you've carded a few times and you know he's of legal age or well above legal age, chances are, even though it's the law, you're not going to fucking card this guy every time, you know?
At the same time, though, it is possible a lot of things in the world has changed in the last few years.
True.
So it is 100% possible that the rules 6 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever, from what I'm talking, it's probably more than 5 years. How long has it been since I've been with her?
We're old. We're old, bro. We are old.
I guess that's adding up. So
we're in our 30s. You young guys, enjoy your youth because you will get old one day.
It will happen. If you're lucky, you'll get old. That's for dark.
Hopefully you get old, yeah.
But it's possible that the rules could have changed since then. Because that was a long time ago. Like, I remember there was a time that I went to Hooters. I sat down and I got pissed off because I asked for a beer and they didn't ID me. And I was like, wait a minute, I waited this long and I didn't get ID. So, yeah, whenever I first turned 21. But now when you are 21 and you go to restaurants, they're IDing everybody if they don't know you for sure. Before, sometimes they ID'd you, sometimes they didn't.
Something only a young man would get mad about. Because now that you're our age, you're like, oh, they didn't ID me. I don't give a shit. But when you're first 21, yeah, you want them to ID you.
Yeah, like, yeah, you know? So it's possible that things could have changed since then, and maybe they're doing something out of law and out of accordance, even though it used to be okay before. I think that'll be something good for us to maybe research after this video. We'll find out. We can do another video.
Speaking of, we will be back. Like I said, I'm going to have to edit this video, but we will.
Why do we have to edit this video? What happened on this one?
Well, I'll just add to what we're about to cut off
okay,
here.
okay.
Like once I go to my video editing thing, I'll take this video, I'll add the next video, and it'll be just one long video. But we'll pick this back up with the next beer that we're going to review, which is. Do you remember what it was?
We talked about.
Do you want to do the Dragon's Milk or the other?
I'm
talking about beer. I'm talking
My
about
bad.
beer.
Okay, yeah. It doesn't matter. I put them both in the freezer for us to try to get them a little colder, a little faster.
Well, one is Dragon's Milk. I cannot remember the name of the other. Do you remember? I don't.
Boston Barrel.
Was it Boston Barrel?
I don't know. That's a random guess. We'll find out on the
All
next
right, we'll
video.
find out on the next video. See you guys in the second part of this. Peace.